Hello and welcome to another episode of Agri Reflections. For this episode and many more future episodes, the Agri Reflections will cover the identification and history of different nursery plants grown for ornamental purposes, both outdoor and indoor, as well as a few stories surrounding these plants. This will cover mostly Canadian plants, for the simple reason I live in Canada, and what I've been taught mostly relates to Canada. I'll be dusting off old notes from my plant ID classes when I went to Richtown College and learned from the professor, Dr. Steve Lowen. You'll start off with one common shrub called Caragana arborescens, variety pendula, also known as the Siberian pea shrub. As you can see right here, there's many tiny little leaves on each branch, but each of those leaves are actually leaflets, not leaves themselves. The way you can determine what the leaf is by looking at the petiole, which will be seen in the following slides on different plant species. This is a very dwarf tree, and is used often as what is commonly referred to as a concrete tree. These are grown in parking lots and whatnot because they can survive within the artificially harsh conditions due to the compaction of the soil due to being under a layer of concrete. Now on to the next plant. This is the next plant on our hit list. Cercis canadensis, or the eastern redbud. This is an ornamental native to Canada. It has, red buds, red flowers specifically that look like peas. And everything's heart-shaped, as you can see right here. The leaves are heart-shaped. And that's the best telltale sign of finding it. Also, it goes into a zigzag formation as leaves fall off. Now, if you look closely, let's pick it up. At this point right here, this is the petiole. This indicates which leaf is which. This point right here to the entire leaf is the entire leaf. But back to Cercis canadensis. This plant is commonly used as a backyard plant or front yard plant. There's also some dwarf varieties that are good for smaller locations. This right here is a form of honey locust. This best exemplifies the difference between leaflets and leaves. As you can see right here, this part all the way down here is one leaf. Because that's a petiole, and if you follow it all the way down, that entire thing is one leaf. And all the air parts are little tiny leaflets in separations from main leaf that act as leaves but are not actually leaves. In Canada, one of the most important plants in the past for ornamental purposes, both as a concrete plant and as a general backyard or ornamental plant, was the ash. However, emerald ash borer put a kibosh on that since that invasive species effectively wiped out all ornamental ashes. To deal with all these different problems with emerald ash borer, alternative plants had to be made, or more specifically found, to replace ash. One is Colateria paniculata.
of the golden rain tree. This plant has orange flowers and furry undersides under the leaflets, as you can see right here. And one of the most important distinguishing features of this ash lookalike, is that the buds are hidden. So unlike the ash where you'll see the actual physical bud producing the next branch or so on the tree, they're hidden underneath the leaves for this species. Next plant is another ash lookalike and the relative of the ash, the Philodendron amorescens or moor cork tree. They have wavy leaves and hidden buds. And they look very much like an ash. And the third one is a Tetradium danielii, or Korean Tetradium. Unlike the other two, the bud is visible. And this is yet another ash lookalike. It can be distinguished by the wavy leaves as well, but the biggest distinguishing feature is the appearance of the bud. Now that we're done with the ash lookalikes, you'll look at one maple lookalike. The maples, they look like this, but this is not a maple. This is a sycamore, Optinus occidentalis. One of the major distinguishing features of a sycamore is that they're huge. Big leaves, big tree, big everything. Another distinguishing feature is that the leaves are alternate, which means they show up here, followed by here, and then here, like a zigzag pattern, rather than being opposite, where they show up in parallel along each other. Let's see this in the future. And that about covers everything for this video. Thank you for watching.